Hello and welcome to American Truck Simulator with me, Kevin Sawyer. Hope you guys are all well and you're all shouting, yeah, I'm good Kev, how's you? And what's going on with that camera up in the top right hand corner? Good question, and I'll go into that in a minute. Basically, last couple of days I have ordered myself an SKRS Shifter. Now I've got this mounted on a bit of a crude setup. This is my you can hear it, that's my mount I've got, and as I spin round you can see the mount moves around with the chair. Basically for today's episode I'm going to be doing this as just to demonstrate to you what I've got planned for when I do get the SKRS Shifter. Now from what I hear it's going to take a while, over 2 months, so it's going to be a bit of a waiting game unfortunately guys, so I can only apologise about that, but obviously SKRS are making quite a lot of them. But when I do get my SKRS Shifter I will obviously mount it. I'll go through all that on the box opening, how to do it with the LG. You've probably all seen it before, but I'll do it anyway just for those guys that haven't. And once I've mounted it you'll see it in fully working action. The plan is to have that on that episode once I've got it and everything working and showing you how it works and everything else. Now if it's something you guys like I will do it all the time. If it's something you guys don't like because you think it's making the game screen a bit too clustered, again guys let me know and I'll endeavour to go back to just the dash cam and everything. Talking about dash cam, I've gone and I've remounted it. It's no longer on a box of dodgy DVDs. I've got like a little flexible kind of pole thing. It's not great, but it's clamped to the desk now, rather than sort of like precariously balanced on DVD cases. I've managed to place it a bit closer. It's probably about as close as I can get it without it sort of like it's like being too close to the wheel and you not be able to see everything on the dash. But anyway, I digress and I've rambled on long enough. Let's get on the way. Right, and I've also relayed out my shifter, so now it's gone back to default. So beforehand my first was sort of like as in a standard car, it'd be like to the left and up, and my reverse was push down on the shifter and down. But obviously because I'm going to try and incorporate the actual proper Eaton Fuller gearbox, so as you can see that what is third in a real gearbox or a real selector is actually first in the game. So but anyway, and my handbrake's still off, and I haven't done a tug test. Let me just move that out of the way because that's in my way. Let's do a tug test. Right, she's passed the tug test, so we'll get on the way. Now getting out this yard's a bit of a nightmare, so you have to forgive me. I'm going to take it nice and slow. But like I said, if it's something you guys want to see more of with the shifter as is now, then sort of like leading up to that time, again guys let me know. I will endeavour to sort of like bring it on. If it's just something you want to see once you get the SKRS Shifter set up, again look guys, just let me know, be honest, and then I can try and keep everyone as happy as I can. This is where it gets difficult, getting out of this yard. Right, once I've got right, so I might not have covered this, but we are today going from Page to Carson City, I should say. It's a relatively short run. I hope I can get it done all in one episode. Unlike the previous episode where we could do a two-parter. We're still in the Kenworth here. Nothing else has changed in that aspect. I will probably get the Freightliner soon. I've seen the Western Star as well. I might download that. Right, let's just straighten ourselves up. Oh. And you'll see what I mean when I was having problems selecting between high and low gearbox. Once I get up to the second range gearboxing, and what I have to do to select between the lower and upper boxes. Now, I suspect a lot of you guys that use G27s and play this game have the same problem and would like an SKRS Shifter as well. I need to turn here, don't I? Another red light. But basically, while I'm waiting at this red light, I'll go over what I have to do. I'll put the clutch in, but as you can see, I have to sort of like reach over with my finger. If I just move the camera a little bit, or I have to reach over to my little dash bit here and select between low and high, and vice versa. And it's difficult to know where I was in the gearbox layout. And I pulled off in third, which is never a good thing. Whoops, and something's just fallen off the side there, sorry about that. This thing's committing carry. Ideally, in the future, at some point, I will have to have a sort of like think about what sort of tripods I can set up. I'm limited, because obviously I'm using webcam. I'll try and if I can, use some sort of a camera once I sort of like get enough money together and all the upgrades are done. Don't crash into that guy. That's probably not an ideal gear to select or start off on, actually. Forgot to go down the box again. Managed to do it though. As you can see, I have to lean over when I'm grabbing my wheel. That's another reason why I want track IR. When I'm grabbing my mouse to look round, it's not ideal. Again, that's a long-term investment. It's a lot of money. It's around about 120 quid. As you can see, I'm trying to get used to the Eaton Fuller setup, which means first isn't actually first. First is reverse. Second is another reverse. Right, just there we go. Just sit back a bit. But ooh, drifting. I hope you guys enjoy the little modifications I have made. As I said, with the aspect for the shifter cam, that's again, I'll see it as read as temporary for the time being, but unless you guys all jump up and say, well, no, actually we'd like to see more of you just shifting, as bad as it is. Well, it's probably a lot more exciting once I do get that SKRS Shifter. Because from what I hear, once you sort of like breaking the buttons a bit, it's quite good. And the weight of it helps just with the shifting, because this little shifter here is just, I'm not going to say it for you guys that are thinking I'm going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to get lulled into the whole Mr. Move scandal like I had with when I was on live stream with him, laughing my head off. So it should make it a bit more well balanced. I thought about just buying a cheap, slightly bigger selector bit, but I thought, well, why should I do that? It's just going to end up collecting dust. I thought even sort of like doing a giveaway on it, sort of like sign it with a Sharpie or something. Again, it's just sort of those sort of things. I thought, why waste the money doing that when it'd been better invested elsewhere? Just lean open, make sure that's in the right aspect. Thing is, I've got so used to, as you can see, I'm driving with my right hand. I'm used to having my left hand free to shifting, so having it over on the right is a bit counterintuitive. I've tried to sort of like get myself out of the habit of leaning one forward. I have to when I grab my mouse or whatever. I did have a little setup where it was just down below on the lower of the mount that I've got, but it meant reaching all the way over just to get the mouse, and I've got so used to now leaning forward and grabbing my mouse, it just seems a bit more easier to deal with. Slow it down to 25 naturally, and I was just thinking, oh hello with oops, wrong gear. Well, didn't press the clutch in enough. Right. Again, this is the problem. I'm just not knowing when I kind of do know where it is, but I don't know physically by hand. I've pressed the button, but I don't know if it's engaged or if it hasn't engaged. With the SKRS Shifter, I know, because the high-low will be there, the button will be there to actually reassure me it is selected in the right gear, rather than just hoping. Oops, sorry, Mr. Kenworth. Peter Built, whatever you are. There we go. What's the speed along here? 25. I thought he's got accelerating quite quick, that guy. Sometimes I wonder about the AI. Ah, typical. I just stopped at that light and oops, try that again. And again. Come on. Again, because I'm so used to the way it used to be set up. It was just a standard 6-speed box, rather than the Eaton Fuller setup. It's kind of I've got used to having first, second, and fourth in the H configuration. I don't know if we turn here. We'll just keep them going around here. It might just be a sharp corner. It might actually be a actual junction. I think it's just a sharp corner. So sort of selecting back, so the gears up through the gears is a bit foreign to me, admittedly. So again, it's going to be a bit stuttery as I learn out what I need to do next. I need to be over the other side, I know that for a fact. And before that junction ends. are slowly getting better with it. I've literally only just set up the H shifter pattern for the Eaton Fuller design just literally yesterday night, and I haven't really had a proper play with it. That's Charlie coming on in. You won't see it on your screen, but I've just seen it on mine. Big hello to him. At least I don't think you've seen it anyway. And that's the problem again, because I'm so used to driving with my right hand, driving my left hand. That's why I've been sort of like drifting quite a lot. Again, and I normally tend to have my hand on the wheel at the top or on the side. Again, because although it is not as close as it was, again, I don't want to knock the mounting point, because it is just off of the wheel, but again, because my wrist might just clamp it, so I get something that's over the shoulder. I'm kind of stuck with this sort of situation. I'm drifting like nobody's business today. I'll soon hopefully sell it out. Put the old lights on. How are we doing for speed? 65. Okay, we're doing alright. I'll put the cruise control on around 60-ish just to minimise the fuel wastage and all those gibbons. And it gets a bit twitchy once you get over the magic 60 on the truck. It's a bit twitchy. Again, I'm not sitting as close as I normally would like. I only do sit a tad closer. I'll probably adjust my seat when I get to a stopping point again. Because my arm's fully stretched. I don't like it when my arm's fully stretched, like a bit of a kink in my elbow. Otherwise I over tense my arm. The sun's blinding, can't hardly see where I'm on the road. I paused there, I put my foot over the brake, just because I had a funny feeling that guy was going to slam on his anchors right in front of me, and cause a disaster. Anyway, I'm going to try and get over to that other lane. Nothing's coming, I don't think. Hopefully not. Well, it's going to be disastrous straight away. Reset my camera to default view. Again, it's slowing. Oh, I thought I was in the wrong road then, but I wasn't. But I do need to slow down. I can probably afford to get in away on this hill in second. Turn some more lights on, and I'm integrating the wrong way. Nothing new. Disaster. It's what makes you guys laugh, right, though? I don't do it flawlessly like some people do. I crunch those gears, I get it wrong. makes it at least somewhat entertaining rather than just being automated and perfect all the time. And I'm speeding again. With Jake to take some of the speed out, I think. As you can see, I'm just like reaching over between the back onto the dash just to change up for the split gears, which again is a bit annoying. That's why now you know why I tend to just skip splits, purely because it kind of puts you off your stride having to push between the two and move the shifter at the same time. Again with the SKRS Shifter, that's going to probably put a lot of that to bed, hopefully. 2 months, I can't believe it's going to take 2 months. I can only imagine they must be making it on site, by hand, I guess, not mass produced. I don't know what the ins and outs of the whole, I guess, again, I don't know where they're getting their Eaton Fuller shifters from, and whether they're getting the shifter with all the pneumatics switches still in it, or whether it's just the shifter main body that's in it. I can only imagine that it's just the shifter's main body, and then they just put the wires in for whatever setup you've gone for. The setup I've gone for on mine is the standard one without Easy Jake installed. One, because I prefer my Easy Jake on my wheel. I could have used the button for something else, and well, price, basically it was like it knocked over to about 120 quid roughly, including delivery, and I was just like, yeah, I don't really want to spend that sort of money on a bit of a toy for myself. I'd rather plough some of that back into the upgrades for the PC. I've got to shift down. Might have to shift it down another gear because it's losing a bit of speed. The only problem I've got now is I can hardly see my my rev gauge because my camera's just in the way. I might have to adjust that so it's a bit more centered. Funnily enough, the second camera I'm using, if you're wondering, this camera right here, it's a Logitech C25, I think, off the top of my head, and the shifter cam that I've got going at the moment, that's my old Xbox 360 cam, from when I used to do like instant chatting and stuff like with my friends on Xbox back in the day. I know it's been kicking around, just collecting dust for ages. I didn't think it was going to work, but it works. It's a bit crude, but it does work. Again guys, sorry, it's a night run. Didn't plan for it to be a night run. You can't see a great deal. But that's the nature of the beast of this game. It tends to be more dark than game, or dark than day. There's 80 along here, so I'm gonna pull her up a bit more, get more speed in her. I'm saying that it's probably going to jump back down now. So. Whoa, 30. Oh dear. Well, that's what you get when you take your eye off the ball, Kev. Right, now I'm going to have to try and get out of this mess without... Yes! Can't you see there's been a major crash? I've probably killed someone. Bet that's damaged the load as well. I had a funny feeling that was going to happen. I really did. As soon as I saw the speed change, and I was like, right, put my foot on the brake. I didn't think the AI in front was going to be really that quick to brake. It'd be over that lane. How much damage have we done actually? I'm going to quickly check. 2%, 3% damage, 2%. Broke the engine a bit, transmission a bit, chassis a lot, cabin a lot, tyres were just natural. As you all guys all laughing your heads off going, well, reckless driver Kev, yeah. Happens. Yeah, happens. You see, now you wouldn't get enough Mr. Moose doing something like that. Well, he might do on the odd occasion, but very unlikely. Red light, just spotted that. I was so focused on what was going on down the road than what was going on the lights. So you can hear that little clunk as it goes into the into that gear. Reason being is because I say most of the time I've been using this on a completely different setup. That lights has gone green. I hope it stays green for my sake. Can't afford another disaster in this run. Again for power shifting, without, because you can't, because normally when you're using any sort of gearbox for you guys that don't drive, it is you feel a certain amount of resistance in the box. I need to be over in that lane, and I've just jumped a light. Okay, got to wait though. Got to clean away with that. Yeah, no one saw that. Yeah. No coppers obviously around. I am speeding though. Ooh. Yeah, as you can see, I have to kind of, because it's never been up in those type of gears. A lot. When I've been playing this game, I've just been standard on the first, second, third, fourth H configuration. It's a bit tight, and I haven't really played many racing games. I tend to use the pedals if I'm going to be, unless I'm going to go old school. as you can see. It's a bad habit as well. Don't rest your hand on the shifter like I am. Come on. Yeah, don't do that. It's one, it's bad for you, can be bad for your shifter. Two, you're not really in full control of your car either, or vehicle, whatever you're driving. It's probably a bit low. RPM value on that is probably a bit on the low side. Let's pull out with some muster. Good, he's letting me out. Cool. I think he was right, but bully your way out. I think that's the seems a bit wrong though. Sorry guys, computer had a bit of a moment there, so I kind of stopped recording. I don't know why. I'll have to have a look at that. Probably because I'm just doing too much with it at the moment. Recently I've been doing this, that and the other with it. I'll probably put that a bit lower because we're on a bit on the low side on the RPM values. I'll step up now. Engage cruise control. I didn't shift my chair forward, did I? I'm going to do something risky. Try moving it a little bit forward now. There we go, it's a little bit further forward. Tiny, tiny bit. Again, I'm driving just with my fingers, which is never a good thing. Ooh, we're 80. Just take the gear out of her and get some speed back up. I'm drifting like nobody's business. I'm good for fuel, so I don't need to stop for fuel. I don't know how much more we've got in this journey. Fair amount. Why is he pulled out to that lane? He wants to stay out there, that's brilliant, as long as he doesn't suddenly change his mind and pull straight in. Oh, really? That's why. Oh, sorry, Mr. Trucker. I had a funny feeling there's something not right there. He pulled out. It's like worst truck driver award goes to Kevin Sawyer. How not to drive a truck with Kevin Sawyer. All those thoughts and more. Weird thing is, when I'm not recording, I'm pretty good at driving. You know, when I'm just chilling, I relax a bit, and I do have the odd bit moment, but I tend to drive a lot better than when I'm recording, which is ironic. As soon as I hit that record button, there's like everything just seems to go out the pan. I guess because I'm over concentrating. If I try and relax a bit, I'm a bit better. Again, got to reach over and get the dip light. It's because I can hardly see them going. Nothing new there though. Oh, I'm drifting. So I'm going to slow down a bit as well. Come on. I'm still going too fast. I'm taking some of the edge off the speed. Right, okay, I'll clear that way, I think. No, car's coming. I hate these intersections, they're really a nightmare. You know, for you guys that live in the US. Wrong gear, Kev, wrong gear, Kev. I got away with it though. Oh, see what I mean? I'm sure I pressed that button, but you said you hadn't pressed that button. And that's the problem with this. So I'm going to complete this run. It might have gone on a little bit longer than usual, guys, and been a lot more hectic as well. Again, I hope you enjoyed it. It gives you a flavour of what my plans are when I do get the SKRS Shifter. And by then, hopefully, this box will slightly be a bit more broken in on that side of the H. I hope. See, I'm sure I selected. Again, I'm going to complain and complain and complain until I get my shifter now, aren't I? I've been complaining a lot, I know. Sorry, guys. But you see what I mean. And if you've got a G27, you'll probably be sitting there going, "Yeah, I'll get the same problem, Kev." It is a nightmare. Some people have it on their wheel, but again, if you're spinning the wheel and you're trying to shift between low and right, high and or between lower box and higher box, between fourth and fifth, it can be difficult, I can imagine. Even though there's 70 along here, I'm going to take it a bit easy because my luck at this moment is not great. Not in this episode anyway. Sunlight's slowly coming in. It's a bit more light. I can see a bit further ahead of me now than I could before. I'll leave it in low because it seems to be alright in low. It doesn't seem to be over revving. It must be because we're on a hill of sorts. If I feel it dropping any more RPM, then I'll drop it down yet another gear. I think we're alright. It's around about what we need it at the moment. Again, you can probably see the clock a bit better as well. The miles tick up on the clock a bit better now. So that's why that was the plan for putting it where it is now. Get the speed on now. We are speeding. So I'll put them all on. Put both the retarder and the cruise control on. So if it does need to take the accelerator off, it's got the benefit of using the drifting off my lane a little bit again, I know. Whoops. And again. We now find out what damage we've done to this rig. Oops. Stop, says me, and while we're stopped, we grab the chair again and move it a bit further forward so I don't have to. My arms are overstretched, and that's probably why I'm overreacting a bit. On the steering, that's my excuse anyway. See that? I almost went for reverse then, I'll admit that. There we go. No, Mr. Car, what are you doing? Take this one corner a bit wide, put load on the back. I think I've still cut the corner there, just to add more insult to injury. Where's the drop-off point for this? Oh, it's this nasty yard, is it? Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie. Right, okay. Try and get this on the first go. It's not going to be easy. Not just let the security guard see what if we hit anything. Again, just to save time, I'm going to skip. I know, coward me. But might run on too much more than we should have done. Excellent. Oh, it didn't damage the load, just damaged the rig. So I'll get that serviced off screen. Take her out of gear. Shouldn't do that, by the way. Now, I don't know if you heard all that hissing and that in the background. That's because I've updated the sounds mod to the latest edition. I think it's 15.7 or whatever it was. So now every time you, rather than just hear him closing the door, you hear him actually unattaching all the compression lines and everything. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, again, please don't forget to like, and if you know anyone else that may also enjoy the craziness of the episode, please don't forget to share. And if you're new to my channel and want to see future episodes of this and anything else that I'm working on, please don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. TTFN.